Hello, everyone. I'm reading again from the Lakota Way, Stories and Lessons for Living, Native American Wisdom on Ethics and Character by Joseph and Marshall III. And this lesson will be on bravery. What is bravery and why is it a requisite virtue? Many of us believe that the ultimate display of bravery can only happen on the field of battle. Facing the possibility and sometimes the probability of death and great bodily harm is without a doubt one of the most daunting realities a human being can confront. Bravery, however, needs to be taken in context because life demands it in so many ways. Bravery is a requisite virtue because life demands it, whether it's cancer, a broken heart, a lost opportunity, a bad business deal, an approaching hurricane, a tough decision, or a dark alley. Life will continually throw challenges at us. Any challenge is also an invitation, a standing invitation. I believe we all have it in us to be brave, that each one of us can defend the camp when it's necessary. Life will give us the opportunity, issuing the invitation to contest, and as time goes on, we will be shaped and strengthened by our challenges. Whether we win each time or not, we will be tempered by adversity. Soldiers dressed in blue had ridden against the south end of the village in the early afternoon, on a hot day during the moon of the cherries ripening, June, and were turned back, outfought by the warriors who had responded to the danger. A new danger came from the north end as another group of soldiers tried to cross the Greasy Grass River and attack the camp. They were driven back as well and were being chased away toward the north. There was much confusion and noise in the large village that stretched for over 2 miles along the west side of the river. As was the usual procedure when a village was attacked, women and children fled, retreating from the attack. One old woman was concerned about the young men in her family who were in the thick of fighting across the river. She took her young granddaughter's hand, and together they waded across the river. Warriors rushing past them to join the fight called for them to go back to the village, but they didn't. They gained a small plateau and could plainly see the fighting. A brown cloud of dust hung over the earth, and the firing from the soldiers' and warriors' guns was one continuous noise. They could see the soldiers running and falling as the Lakota and Shaila, Northern Cheyenne, drove them relentlessly. The woman stopped on a low, sharp rise as the soldiers gained a high hill to the northeast. Suddenly, a group of soldiers broke off and ran in her direction, but just as quickly as they were cut down to a man by the advancing warriors. The old woman could sense that victory was at hand, but the guns were still firing as warriors, many of them on foot, pushed toward the hill, toward a last group of soldiers. The old woman was overcome and began to weep, and then she began to sing. Her clear, strong voice rose amidst the noise of unfettered violence as she sang a strong heart song, a song of courage and honor for the brave warriors defending their people. She raised her arms in prayer and continued to sing one strong heart song after another, while her granddaughter clung to her skirt and watched the battle through wide, fearful, wondering eyes. Soon the guns stopped shooting and there were shouts of victory. The battle was over and the victory belonged to the Lakota and Shaila. But the old woman kept singing even as the tears ran down her face. A mounted warrior approached, the strain of combat and the flush of victory on his face. He dismounted and draped a red sash across the old woman's arms. He was a crazy dog warrior, one of an elite group who would often stake themselves in one place during a battle with their red sashes, a visible vow to fight until victory or death. He had seen the old woman, heard her singing, and acknowledged her courage. As he rode away, another warrior appeared and did the same, followed by another and another, until the old woman was covered with red sashes. Another old woman told me the story when I was a boy. Woven into her silvery braids were strips of red cloth given to her by her grandmother. She was the young girl who stood with her grandmother as she sang strong heart songs during the Greasy Grass fight also called the Battle of the Little Bighorn in 1876. Her grandmother had given her the red strips, she said, to remember her by, but the red strips also reminded her that she could be brave, and that's how she faced her blindness every day. Being brave is having or displaying courage during hardship, being strong in the face of pain. If you don't think you know how to be brave, look around. You'll find someone who does know. Follow him or her. If you follow long enough, you'll learn to have courage, or the courage within you will rise to the top. When that happens, turn around and don't be surprised if someone is following you. Thank you for this story time with Auntie A. Okay.